man. Things just keep getting worse and worse for Battlefield 5. From the initial reveal to absolutely terrible public relations, EA and DICE just keep pouring more salt into the open wound, purposefully tarnishing the Battlefield brand and turning the situation with the fanbase into an ongoing Battlefield unto itself. Hello everyone, and welcome to my video. This is Invader here, the massive gaming fan, and I'm going to talk about the latest gaffe in a series of blunders by both EA and DICE. A few days ago, EA and DICE had a closed event to celebrate the launch of Battlefield 5. Usually, these things are a small celebratory party and circle jerks, but whatever, right? Nothing unusual. However, pictures began to circulate online with a giant screen at the event mocking fans and customer criticisms of the game with a giant hashtag of everyone's Battlefield. And some of the comments were as follows. Feminism ruins everything, feminazis are trying to rewrite history, Genderfield 5, and I'm gonna bleep this one out because I'm afraid of being deplatformed by YouTube. What the F was the developer thinking, and so on. You guys kind of get the drill here. So to me, like, the audacity of DICE and EA to showcase these and proudly display them at this event is an absolute slap in the face to fans and consumers. They're openly mocking comments from your consumer base. It's just abhorrent, and as a company, you should really be open to more criticisms and discussions. You're not perfect. And instead, they choose to openly prod consumers, and it's just because they don't submit to their propaganda, which is a huge shame. And to make matters worse, even a PR person associated with Battlefield who attended the event took to social media to go after fans that were upset with both the direction of the franchise and the studio as well. Needless to say, judging by these comments, bad PR is never a good thing, especially for a brand and studio entangled in an overwhelming BS storm as it is. And of course, judging by this person's Twitter, it just looks like somebody consumed with far-left ideology. There's lots of men-hating stuff there. Everyone's a Nazi, a fascist. You get it, you know the drill. Obviously perfect for the Battlefield franchise, right? So I've talked about this situation, well, going back a few months, and I've been observing how this situation has been taking shape into the dumpster fire that's turned into. And I have to place the full blame on both EA and DICE for, well, both delivering a game with a lack of content and for absolutely being tone deaf to its consumer base. From a very confusing reveal trailer to calling fans bigoted and uneducated, it's just a very bad way to talk to your fan base and future consumers. The messaging was totally off the wall and all over the place, with an insurgence in EA of shoehorning in feminist activism and social justice. You're going to set the next iteration in one of your biggest franchises in a historical period where there are well-known truths and facts of the time. Why try to change or alter what happened? If they had taken the franchise and the time period into an alternate form a la Wolfenstein in a sense, then a few things could be overlooked. No problem, right? But when you're purposely skewing historical events for forced ideological reasons, then that's a big issue, and it exposes historical revisionism. For example, one war story, Nordlys, is based on a real-life story of Operation Gunnerside, of Norwegian commandos to take out a German heavy water plant. It was a truly heroic effort and sacrifice, and while the story is in the game, the male commandos are replaced by a 16-year-old girl and her mother. Why DICE would take the historical event and write out the actual heroes is a mystery and very puzzling. But it seems to push forward their forced social justice and agenda. Now, if DICE had bothered to go through the history books, they would find a wealth of stories to choose from, including the story of Violet Zavo, a French secret agent who was valuable to the Allies and helped coordinate with the resistance against the Germans in France. Coincidentally, the 2009 game Velvet Assassin is inspired by Zavo's story. The other two war stories appeal to other revisionist ideals as well from the looks of it. And herein lies another big glaring issue with the game. There is a severe lack of content in Battlefield 5. There are only 3 war stories at launch and roughly 3 hours of gameplay. Now in comparison, DICE's previous entry, Battlefield 1, had 5 war stories at launch. And for the record, I was mixed on Battlefield 1's war stories, as I felt that they didn't really offer a whole lot of substance or content. But now moving into the multiplayer aspect, when you look at the multiplayer maps at launch, Battlefield 5 has 8 in total, whereas Battlefield 1 had 9, offering 1 less than its predecessor. And for a series that's infamous for its multiplayer, that's not a good thing. Not to mention the fact of DICE delaying the Battle Royale mode Firestorm by 5 months. And that's another big chunk of content that's missing. And that is a lot of what the criticism is about. If I'm paying $60 or 80 as it is here in Canada, then I expect that content to be in the box at launch. And this is where the proactive criticism comes in. But as I stated before, both EA and DICE have become completely tone deaf to consumers and keep harping on about inclusivity and social justice when all they should be doing is trying to sell me on this World War II game. It's honestly, it's like they're totally tone deaf. It's almost like they're patting themselves on the back, sniffing their own farts. Like, holy crap. This situation, it's a real shame because Battlefield is an awesome franchise. It has a compelling multiplayer component known for its huge, large-scale combat, and I genuinely like the franchise, with my personal favorite being the Bad Company offshoot. Unfortunately, I think this will become a textbook case study in the industry of how not to market your game, and ultimately kill a series. And EA knows all too well on how to kill a series or two. I just want a complete product that's not entrenched with toxic, ideological messes in it. It's really not that hard of a concept. I mean, after all, we're not like EA. We actually are educated and understand what an incomplete mess is. I'd imagine they are feeling some heat already though, as their stock has been dropping over the past few months because of various delays and negativity associated with Battlefield 5. Very eerily similar with what happened to Star Wars Battlefront 2. History seems to be almost repeating itself, funny enough. Not only that, but this game, it hasn't even been out for a month and we're seeing some tremendous discounts already. There's a 50% discount on the deluxe edition being offered already. Ouch! And that's not exactly a vote of confidence I'm seeing for such a perennial heavy-hitting franchise. That's not very good. As I said before, this is a real crying shame. I was really looking forward to Battlefield 5. While I certainly had issues with Battlefield 1, it felt like a competent game. Though at launch the bugs, they were rough, admittedly. And I was willing to set aside some historical inaccuracies because of the compelling gameplay that it produced. But all this with Battlefield 5 it's honestly just going too far. Graphically, the game is stunning. It's very gorgeous, in fact. And I did have some awesome moments during the open beta. Man, there were some really cool moments, in fact. But ultimately, I think both EA and DICE, they really need to wake up and start listening to the fan base again. Otherwise, the Battlefield franchise, it's destined to be doomed if they continue down this path, unfortunately. Has both EA and DICE gone too far with their ideological agenda? Can the Battlefield franchise be saved? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And if you could, leave a like and subscribe, as it would really help out the channel tremendously. As always guys, thank you for watching, it's always appreciated. Invader, out.